Accountability, accountability, and accountability. Um, I think accountability is the root of all personal and professional development. I actually started a little over a decade ago into real estate lead generation. So I was with a media and advertising company, branched off from there, started my own small marketing company. Ended up getting into the real estate industry through some work that I was doing with a home inspector. Saw some really big opportunities there, started a lead generation company. It started doing really well from our online lead gen. We did really well with SEO organically. Google liked us and sent us a whole bunch of traffic. And then about 5 years ago now, we ended up moving to the Remax brand. We moved to Remax first and started a team officially. So we started doing our own thing instead of just helping others. And so that's 5 years ago now that we started that. And actually, I should also mention, within our second year, we hit top 10 in Western Canada and top 40 in all of Canada for Remax for teams. So we did some nice growth very quickly, thanks to the agents on the team. Yeah, well, quality, frankly. I hate to say this, but it's an industry that's really prevalently with mediocrity. We see a lot of agents being really successful, but not, in my opinion, doing necessarily a great job for their clients. The industry that I left, the media company that I spoke of earlier, they were top notch. They were 50 fastest growing companies in Canada for multiple years running, big clients. Did a fantastic job, amazing culture there. And I have always tried to live up within our industry to what they expected from us within their industry. Doing things like photo enhancements, through Styldod for our photos, having really, upper scale property brochures and photography and marketing materials and in-house marketing materials, tour guide cards, all of that stuff that was derived from the base of the marketing, which really happens with photography, and then putting that into some really stellar marketing pieces. And we've actually won 4 awards, nominated for 5 and won 4 awards just in this past year for our marketing materials, primarily property marketing materials, which really originated from just having good quality photography and enhanced photos right off the bat. So 11 years ago, or 12 years ago as it is now, 13 years ago, oh my God, it's 13 years. 13 years ago when I started, I really had no intention of doing real estate myself. It was always along the lines of straight lead generation. But seeing what I've done and how we started it through the team and what so many of the agents that we did the lead gen for have been doing, I would say treat it like a business off the bat. It's funny, I think most people get into this industry because they see a lot of money and they see freedom. You don't have a boss anymore. You are your own boss, which I think people don't realize that means more work, not less. It means more regimented, not less regimented, more structure, more protocols in order to do what's really possible. And strangely enough, I shouldn't say strangely enough, the agents, single agents particularly, that we see doing a ton of business, they're very regimented. They do treat it like a business. You don't see them off on holidays 2-3 times a year and then scrambling for business right afterwards because they had a couple of nice checks. They treat it like a business that you got to be in every single day, and they make it work when they go away, and they make amends for it. So accountability, and accountability. I think accountability is the root of all personal and professional development. So as an example, we do lead generation, talking to several agents who said, those leads suck. That's a common thing that we hear. Those leads suck, which is funny because somebody else is doing hundreds of thousands of dollars of business off of those same leads that suck. Those people are accountable through what works and what doesn't work. And when something doesn't work, it's not about the leads, it's about how they handle it. It's about what they can do better, what they can do more of, what they can be more structured and regimented, concentrating on what works, constantly improving it. The other ones always have somebody else to blame or something else to blame, whether it be the market, the leads, the clients, the other realtors they're dealing with, their boss, their brokerage, whatever it is. But when you're accountable through it, you can improve and grow, and you can do a better business and be happier the whole time with it because you've taken it onto yourself, not in a blame sort of way, not assigning guilt to it, but just knowing that you are powerful. You are more powerful than you likely give yourself credit for. Accountability is the baseline of that. Yeah, so I think marketing, it's ironic in this industry. On the listing side, I'll kind of gear towards that. On the listing side, we talk about marketing all the time, and we say we are marketers when really we're salespeople. And I think, being accountable through that, if you realize that, and you realize that marketing, most likely, if you're successful, is not your strong point, sales is most likely your successful starting point from. That's how you got your business. That's how you continue to get business, and that's how you sell the business. There's very few of us that take our own photos. We do professional photographers that do it. The enhancement of those photos, like I mentioned earlier, a big part of our success is taking almost every single photo that we do and enhancing it in some way, whether it be making prettier skies or light adjustments, or virtual staging has been something that we've kept in our pocket. We took one today that was somewhere around 1.1 or 1.05 that we went into multiple offers for. The property had been listed previously, with just the furnishings and everything that they had in there. We retook the photos, we edited out the furniture that was in there, leather furniture, which is out of date. We took that out and we put softer new furniture in there. The photos look great. It got a ton of attention. On the first weekend, we went into multiple offers, whereas it didn't sell before. That is due to the baseline of it, which is great looking photos. That's the first impression. That's sometimes the only impression that a buyer sees. And then having some success stories behind that, talking to the sellers about that when we're doing our presentations, means we're getting more listings from it, and we're getting higher end listings, and we're impressing people, and we're getting more referrals out of them because of that. I think either one of them by themselves doesn't really loan to a lot of success. Great sales without great marketing means you might talk to more people, but you're not necessarily selling more properties or for more. Having great marketing, but not really being out there to brag about it and to talk about it. It's great, but it means very few people will actually see it. So having the combination of those two, I think, is really, really quite paramount. Equal parts marketing, equal parts sales. We've done the property websites in the past. To be perfectly frank, we haven't had a lot of success with them, but we didn't really promote them properly either. And I think just having something doesn't necessarily loan to the success of it. You have to have it and use it. You have to have it and promote it. Pay-per-click campaigns, that sort of stuff, really, I think probably would have helped that a fair bit. I think they're good. We just didn't have a huge amount of success with it. Where we have had massive success, though, is floor plans, doing the 3D immersive virtual tours. It really started as a necessity when COVID kicked in, and a lot of agents started using it right away, and then just dropped off because they saw it as an unnecessary expense. But it's really been key to us selling a lot of the properties that we do by allowing buyers to actually somewhat experience, and our experience, the whole foundation and success of the MLS has been lots of pictures, lots of descriptions, people interact with it, they get interested in a property, and because of that, they want to go in and view it in person. Now, because with the new technologies that exist, being able to take a vacant property, do an immersive 3D virtual tour, whether it be Matterport or one of the others, and then incorporating the virtual staging into there, the tech side of it is pretty big. This stuff that you guys have at your fingertips, and for a very reasonable price, is pretty amazing. So if you've got the listing, spend the extra dollars on it and do it. And if you don't have the listing, maybe it's because you didn't do some of that stuff in the past to be able to brag about, to show the sellers that you do things more than others do. The other big one is video. And one of the nice things about the 3D immersive tours is, in essence, they are an interactive video that the user controls. So we've kind of replaced a lot of the video stuff with that. We still use it, definitely, but our staple, our standby is great photography combined with those 3D immersive tours. We rely heavily on constantly getting new leads, and I think because we started out really strong that way, we've fallen into this false sense of security that the leads will always be there, so we don't have to stay in contact with past clients. And frankly, that's really been to our detriment and our downfall. We're actually just working right now on trying to recover that aspect, because when you've got 1,000 people in your database of old clients, that should be generating 300 new clients a year, independent of any lead gen. So right now we're actually looking at hiring, and we're outsourcing this, but hiring a client services person. So where we used to have and do still have inside sales agents, we're looking at expanding their roles into more of a client services, so that they're staying in touch to make up for the where the agents aren't staying in touch, and then hopefully use that as the conduit for them getting back in touch with the old clients. It's, things like property tax time. Hey, it's just Johnny calling from the group Remax First. I work with ex agent. They just asked me to give everybody a quick call and touch base because the property taxes have come out, and wondering if you wanted an evaluation on the home to see if they're accurate. And by the way, the market's hot right now. If it is accurate and you're interested, we can certainly see what it might fetch in the open market, connecting them back with the realtors as well. We do things like handwritten cards, Christmas cards. We're looking at some client events right now as well, movies, that sort of stuff. But frankly, it's really been a weak point for us. And we probably would be a lot bigger and doing a lot more transactions if we paid it a lot more attention earlier. My own arrogance would definitely be the biggest challenge I faced. And I have seen people come in, because of our web presence, we're fairly well known in the city and have been for quite a while. And so a lot of newer agents coming in will come and talk to us and look to us for advice. I have pretty much always been under the assumption that the way we do things is the proper way. And I have had a number of agents come into my office, looking for advice and all this stuff, who do the registration leads, and I was like, good for them, hopefully they do well with it. And they kill us now. We've got two that I'm thinking of specifically that are doing way more business than we are on the leads that I thought was beneath us. It's been a real kick in the pants to look at other people far surpassing our business and doing a better job because they didn't feel that they were above the things that we felt we were above. And I had experienced that personally on the other side with agents that I had talked to when I was still doing the lead gen, that felt that our internet leads were beneath them and we kicked their butts. So it's been an experience to realize that nothing is beneath you. You are not above anything. That was a kick in the ass that I've experienced pretty strongly, that we're going back and we're re-looking at everything that we've been doing and what we think we are, to try and catch up to those people that we thought had a better system than they did. So, we didn't strongly adapt to COVID in a positive way. We've been using Zoom a lot more. I've been trying to encourage the agents to actually use it particularly in the beginning, as the way to still have some sort of face-to-face interaction. Technology can definitely be your friend, or it can be your enemy. We never grasped onto it, frankly, strongly enough. we've tried to really roll with the punches and just keep on as much as possible with business as usual. Now, having said that, frankly, I don't think any of us saw the big boom that, in real estate that's been happening, not just here, but, throughout the country and throughout much of the world, where, inventory is down, sales are up, prices are increasing. We frankly, we didn't see that coming. And when it did start, we gave it a month or two. We're now on coming into month 12. 10. We're on month 10 of it right now, and just kind of rolling with it for as long as we possibly can, and then making preparations for when it flips to the other side again, because almost every spike is followed by an equal or greater, sometimes a little bit lesser downturn, whether it's a quick spike up and a quick spike down, or a lower spike up and then a lower spike down. But we are definitely anticipating that that's going to be happening. Along that same lines, once again, not that I'm plugging Styldod or anything here, but when that does happen, our marketing becomes really important again. So getting lax right now, because you don't need a whole bunch in order for something to sell, isn't going to pay off for you in the long run. So really kind of keeping up with that strong marketing presence is kind of key to us through this COVID and the ups and downs that it's created. Yeah, it's difficult. So I'm a team lead. I have the great benefit of not having massive amounts of evenings and weekend time that I have to spend, like the agents who are boots on the ground and just slogging away every day. Even more so, I think is their spouses and their significant others who aren't necessarily in the industry. Some are, some aren't. But where they aren't in the industry, it's really tough to understand that need to take the call, the need to take the text or the email, or not even the text or email or phone call that is business, because you don't know it is or isn't until you pick it up. My wife's a mortgage broker, quite a successful mortgage broker, and so she gets this. She understands it. She understands the need to be doing this all the time when you're in a dinner with your family and constantly looking down at the text message that's binging off on your phone the whole time. It's definitely a lot easier when both sides are in it. But where they're not, I think a large part of the key to that balance is to understand that your spouse doesn't understand, and just to be easy on them when they get irritated and upset, because frankly, they're right. Our industry's kind of broken in the way that we have to handle these things. And so to understand that the problem isn't with them being short with you, the problem is with the industry dictating that you largely have to play this way in order to keep going. If you are an agent and you expect your mortgage brokers, if you set up the calls like this, I'm going to set you up with our mortgage broker. She's fantastic. I'm going to have her call you right away. The lawyers, the same thing, the home inspectors, all the different people that you deal with. If you set up the expectation with your clients that they have to be dealing with you that way, you will never break free from them dealing with you that way. So you have to meet their expectations right off the bat, and then reset them. Let them know that there is a family involved in your life. And I think that's one of the spots where in your marketing materials and stuff, it's good to show that you have a family, that you have kids, that you have pets, that you have a wife or a husband or significant other that's in the picture as well, and that they deserve your attention as well. And the clients need to respect a little bit of that. I think it comes back to the treat it like a business, and then the offshoot of that is. It's funny because it might contradict a little bit of what I said earlier. Marketing is not everything. We see an absolute huge amount of realtors, particularly fresh in the business, that are at their desk every single day creating marketing. They create marketing and branding for themselves that never gets seen. Much more important than that, particularly on the beginning, is lead generation, and the understanding that marketing is not lead generation and lead generation is not marketing. There's a little bit of an overlap of the two, but concentrate your business on lead generating, talking to people, having the reason to act as a salesperson and not as a marketing. The marketing's funner than lead generation, but at the end of the day, it's very unlikely that it's going to get you the dollars without the lead generation there to complement it. Having a beautiful billboard in a back alley that's never seen by anybody is not good, not good for your business. I'd much rather be out on a street in front of a bunch of people that are potentially interested in a show home, or an open house. And I think those are two incredibly undervalued resources, that could be getting you business done right. Forget about the fancy business card or the fancy brochure off the bat. Work on it down the road, or better yet, outsource it. Don't spend all your time and money on it though, but do spend it on lead generation, smart lead generation. Well, ironically, I first came across you guys because you do a lot of lead gen. You're the marketing and the newsletters that I put out are predominantly lead generation tools. Seeing a few examples of what you guys have done. I won't lie, we were using another vendor prior, and your pricing was as good. In fact, it was better. And the quality of primarily it was the virtual staging that got us in there, but the quality of the virtual staging was slightly better. So for slightly less, we were getting slightly better. It was kind of a no-brainer to give you guys a shot. We've been quite happy throughout the whole process working with you guys. We plan on continuing that. Another thing on the side of that as well is when we were doing a fair chunk of our research on, once again, the virtual staging, but that isn't the only thing by any means. We could easily be paying 10 times the amount for the same basic end result as we were with Styldod by keeping it local. So using you guys has been pretty instrumental in those 4 awards that we won. Taking that baseline and working off of it from there, and then using that to actually catapult some of our other stuff. And we're proudly pronouncing that everywhere. And we're using it not about us or the awards that we've won, but rather your listing deserves great marketing. Your listing deserves award-winning marketing. We happen to have award-winning marketing that we can use to showcase your beautiful property. So, to have a beautiful house, something that the sellers are really proud of, and then give them mediocre or bad photography is just bad business. So we've loved working with you guys so far because of that.